Our next chapter is probability. Probability is defined as the likelihood of an event to occur. Why study probability? Well, businesses do not make decisions under conditions of absolute certainty. They must deal with uncertainty, and probability systematically deals with uncertainty. Some businesses are based entirely on principles of probability, such as the insurance industry or the gambling industry. And thirdly, it provides the foundation for inferential statistics. As you may have remembered, inferential statistics is when you try to predict something about a population using a sample. Key probability terms. First term is an experiment. An experiment is anything that can be observed. Secondly, we have outcome. An outcome is the result of an experiment. Third key term is the term an event. An event is a collection of one or more outcomes. For example, if we were rolling a die, an outcome would be a 1 coming up, or a 2, or a 3, whereas an event could be getting a 3, or maybe getting an even number, which would be a collection of 3 events. Finally, all probabilities must be between 0 and 1. You can't have a probability greater than 100% or a probability less than 0%. The first method for estimating probabilities is called the classical method. The probability of an event is the number of favorable outcomes to an experiment divided by the total number of outcomes to that experiment. Now you have to think outcomes. How many physical ways could an event occur? For example, one card is drawn from a deck of 52 cards. What is the probability that the card drawn is a queen? Well, what you would have to do is figure out how many queens there are in a deck of cards. There are 4, and therefore the probability is 4 favorable outcomes divided by 52 total outcomes. 4 out of 52, or 1 out of 13. Now, as a kid, I always liked playing board games, so most board games involves throwing 2 dice. And you want to know what the probability is of getting various totals when you throw 2 dice. Now, how many outcomes are possible when 2 dice are thrown? So you have outcomes that can occur on this white die, and with every outcome on the white die, you have 6 outcomes on the blue die. Since there are 6 ways the white die can come up and 6 ways the blue die can come up, there are 36 total possible physical outcomes. How many of these outcomes will give you a total of 5? So you would count till there's a 1 and a 4, a 2 and a 3, a 3 and a 2, and a 4 and a 1. So there are 4 outcomes. So your probability of rolling a 5 is 4 out of 32. How many outcomes will result in a 6? Well, you have 1 and a 5, 2 and a 4, 3 and a 3, 4 and a 2, and a 5 and a 1. So there are 5 total outcomes that will give you a 6. How many outcomes will give you a 7? Well, if you count them up, there are 6 outcomes that will give you a 7. So the probability of rolling a 7 is 6 out of 36. If you count how many outcomes will give you an 8, only 5. 5 out of 36. So the highest probability of occurrence is rolling a 7, a total of 7.